Joneses on steroids, right?
So the problem with social media is that no one posts the vulnerable side, or the things that you fail at, or the money that you lost, or the relationships you lost. So that vulnerability, I think, is going to happen more and more. And then
I'm going to stop posting that shit, by the way. I'm going to make my account
I need to.
Negative fucking shit that's going on in my life. Like, you watch me, I'm
exactly.
I'm writing a book. What do I do all day? I'm fucking bored and miserable.
Bro, okay, post. So that's one of my goals, is to become more vulnerable on social media, because people think that our life is perfect. They see me and my wife, they travel, the kids, the this, and like, we're traveling almost every month, but people don't really know who we are.
Right.
And we need to show more of that. And I think that's what social media is going to turn into. And that authentic, vulnerable side of people is what's going to build that genuine connection.
%93 of surveyed businesses increased their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. Over 28,000 businesses already use NetSuite. Head to netsuite.com/wolf for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. That's netsuite.com/wolf, netsuite.com/wolf. All right, JB here, the Wolf of Wall Street in the Wolf's Den, and I am in the middle of an awesome conversation with Jason Stone. What's up, buddy? We're having this really profound conversation, so I said, let's just stop and let's just have this conversation. Let's just fucking hit the record button and go at it. We're talking about Instagram. Like, is it a good thing and a bad thing? And I fucking hate Instagram, even though I'm on it. I mean, I'm on it because for business reasons, I'm on it, but I don't embrace it for reasons. And I'll tell you why the reasons why. We have this debate here. And it's an interesting one because, like anything else, the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle, and nothing's ever that great or that terrible. But to me, the emotional impact that Instagram has on a lot of people I know, people I love and care about, people I hate and despise, people I don't really even know, but I know it affects them, is that, like, you have a lot of this, seeing what other people are doing in their stories, and their manufactured, artificial, saccharin sweetened moments that are bullshit. They're not indicative of what real life is about, how they were feeling at the moment. They put filters on them. They pose a certain way, and you think that they're happier than you, more successful than you. They have better lives than you, more friends than you, and they're more popular than you, and you feel like fucking shit inside. And because of that, I think it has a dramatically negative impact on people, especially younger people who don't know life without Instagram like I do. We didn't have it when I was growing up, so I understand how ridiculous it is, that aspect of it. I understand that I'm gonna say ridiculous, meaning that just because someone's fucking posting doesn't mean that they're fucking happy. Yeah. All right. That's one side of it. And also the fucking cowards that use social media to bash people, the haters. Okay. Which to me which doesn't bother me one bit at all. I fucking love my haters. Keep fucking hating me because you keep driving my engagements. I'm totally fine with it. But some people don't get that, and it really hurts them. All right. And people say things about them, and they make fun of them physically, and it's awful, and they're fucking cowards, and they would never do it face to face. They'd only do it because they're hiding behind a screen name, and it's disgusting. So that's part of why
scammers
and the scammers, right? Yeah, of course, the TikTok scammers, all the crypto shit, which I know you know about, right?
It's all over my profile.
So give me the flip side of it. You brought up before, you said, well, what about the guy that sits there and makes money? Let's go through that. What's your side of the story?
Well, I mean, yeah. Everybody's posting the highlight reel of their stories. They don't post the bad, the ugly, the fights. Everybody's posting what we want you to see, the facade, and making think that everybody's happy. So that like, people trying to compete with that is like competing with the Joneses, and it's hard.
It's like steroids, right? It's like that.
Joneses on
steroids, right?
So the problem with social media is that no one posts the vulnerable side, or the things that you fail at, or the money that you lost, or the relationships you lost. So that vulnerability, I think, is going to happen more and more. And then
I'm going to stop posting that shit, by the way. I'm going to make my account
I need to.
Negative fucking shit that's going on in my life. Like, you watch me, I'm
exactly.
I'm writing a book. What do I do all day? I'm fucking bored and miserable. That's
Bro,
my fucking
okay,
post.
so that's one of my goals, is to become more vulnerable on social media, because people think that our life is perfect. They see me and my wife, they travel, the kids, the this, and like, we're traveling almost every month, but people don't really know who we are.
Right.
And we need to show more of that. And I think that's what social media is going to turn into. And that authentic, vulnerable side of people is what's going to build that genuine connection. and really get people to like you. Your raving fans are going to love you even more. I was just watching a podcast last night with my wife with Ed Milet.
I like Ed Milet a lot.
Yeah, Ed Milet. It's all, like he literally left me a voice message on I left him voice messages and through the DMs. It was great. You know, he's donating all his money to charity for the kids that got, you know, the families of the kids.
For his book launch or something?
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it was all about your little child. Like, it's all psychology, like getting therapy. More like trauma is like the new trending keyword on TikTok right now. It's like, what are your traumas and what is your vulnerable traumas and how is that affecting you in your daily life? And that is actually trending right now. And it's like, my wife has been taking therapy. I'm going to start taking therapy to learn about this stuff because this, like, what happened in our childhood and everything that happened growing up, where all our circumstances, that's how we are today. And I think more of that's going to start coming out. More and more people are getting therapy. More and more people are going to start becoming vulnerable. And that,
I think TikTok is better than Instagram. Like, in that regard,
I hate TikTok.
Well, I'll give you my opinion in this. Is that, like, I had a period where
I don't hate anything. So I was just
I understand. I know what you're saying.
I'm biased. I got, you know.
No, what I'm saying is, like, I got into a point with TikTok where I was having fun with it, and I was, like, you know, doing these reaction videos. They're just kind of funny
during COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And I just picked up millions of followers really quickly, right? And then I stopped doing it because I was like, I don't know. I'm like kind of making fun of people. I don't like making fun of people so much. Making fun of yourself. Like, you know, like it was too easy on TikTok. Like, people would just do stupid. It was like stupid human tricks, and you just like go out there, just, you know, make fun of people who are doing crazy stuff.
That was like, okay, so I thought TikTok was like the more of the inside version of like who you really are. You could be funny, you could be silly, you can dance,
right?
And people got to know you better on TikTok. So people are always like, go back on TikTok. Your reels were not reels, your TikToks were so funny.
Yeah, TikToks, yeah.
So we're gonna start posting some more on TikTok. I got to start because you know, I love Instagram, and Instagram stole TikTok's features and did reels. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stay on one platform.
Yeah. So I think, but getting back to our original discussion of why I abhor social media like that. You brought up this idea. But like, you think it's a great thing because there is like the ability now of people, like whether they're in India or not, the non-famous to become famous simply for being, versus having a real skill set that normally in the old world, pre-social media, would say you're famous because you've done something extraordinary. Now you can be famous for doing nothing extraordinary.
So you got the several celebrities, the athletes, and the actors.
Yeah.
Were the only famous people.
Right.
How else were you famous?
Right.
You were on a commercial. So now anybody, Joe Schmo off the street, can go on TikTok and go like this without saying a word and become a multimillionaire.
Is that good or bad? Here's my question. So is that a good thing? I think it's, listen, anything that makes people money, I think if it's not hurting someone else, I don't think that's a bad thing. I can't see that's bad that someone makes money for doing that. I just wonder if, like, on the celebrity side, in other words, that people, what annoys the shit out of me, I gotta say, is that people who are famous for doing nothing.
Dumb shit.
And or like that's it.
So they have no. Okay, well, so yeah, they have no skills.
Doing dumb shit extraordinarily well is actually fairly smart. Like Jackass. Those guys are fucking smart. They're not idiots. Those guys, like, they're actually professional idiots. Like, they're doing idiotic stuff professionally. And that means you're really smart.
Jackass 4.5.
Like, you could say, "Oh, Kim Kardashian's an idiot because she's fucking brilliant. She actually is a professional, made her life interesting for people to watch.
Her horny self made her famous.
Right, exactly. So you have to give someone credit. I'm talking about something like where like the dancing stuff, and like where it's really kind of really low. Like, there's no skill involved. There's nothing special, and then people, I think it speaks to a part of human nature that's not the brightest part of human nature. I think it's a part of human nature that sort of is not overly inspiring. And I think it's more like this voyeuristic side that we have. Yeah. It's not our best self. It's my own opinion.
Maybe it's just us, purebred entrepreneurs worked our ass off to create businesses, learn these skill sets. Now look at these influencers like, what the Like,
Yeah,
why can't I do that?
I have a friend like that who fucking hate. I mean, well, I have a really good friend of mine, best friend, very wealthy guy, right? He hates that whole thing. Like they didn't build a business, they didn't pay their dues, they don't really know anything, and they're like out there like acting famous and stuff. And I don't like that's not what really bothers me though. Like what really bothers me, I think what really bothers me are things that make people feel worse about themselves. Okay. That's my problem with it. I say, I don't care all that stuff, whatever. I mean, I don't know. But like, I think that if someone's the point is not that I'm happy for the person that got famous. I'm never, if that made them money, made them happy, great. But my question is what about the people that like were on the other side of that? What does that do to them? And does it make their lives better or worse? Does it enrich their lives? Does it make their lives worse? Does it like sort of rewrite their own belief systems about what's
possible?
Well, I mean, that's on the upside, right? That anyone could be famous, but it also does it make them not really like value that we used to think like, okay, you got famous by getting rich, and usually by getting rich, you means you did something pretty fucking, you created something of massive value at a special skill. Like there was an exchange of value, the whole thing. It just seems like the value exchange has gone haywire because these platforms have, what they're doing is they've created the real value and they're skipping up 98%, and this crumbs are enough for these people to have some perceived wealth almost. All right, so the CFOs that get it. And the CFOs that don't. Let's talk about the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. Today's CFO is critical to the strategy and success of the business. And in growing companies, there are two kinds of CFOs. One who's struggling to keep up, spreadsheets everywhere, manual processes, errors, lack of visibility into the numbers, takes weeks to close the books. The other kind is on top of their game. Automated reports, inventory, e-commerce, and HR flow into the financial model seamlessly, insights coming with the click of a button. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR planning, and budgeting, NetSuite is everything that you need to grow all in one place. That's why NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system used by over 28,000 growing businesses. Like I told you, the CFOs that get it, well, they get it. The CFOs that don't, they don't. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system to power your growth. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR planning, budgeting, and more, NetSuite's everything you need to grow all in one place. With NetSuite, you can automate your processes and close your books in no time while staying well ahead of your competition. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. Over 28,000 businesses already use NetSuite. So head to netsuite.com/wolf for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. That is netsuite.com/wolf, netsuite.com/wolf.
At the end of the day, like the media companies, they're all advertising with influencers. Like the old days is billboard, music, TV, radio, television. Now we got these influencers that are dancing on TikTok. They can get $1 million brand deal because they have so many eyeballs. So that's the real opportunity that people see, is like, what dumb shit can I do? What dance can I do? What niche can I get in to build the followers? Whether they're laughing at me or cracking up on me, if I can just get followers, I can get dollars. That's the mindset of this younger generation is.
But there's something, okay, but #1, followers on TikTok are the least valuable of all followers, right? For advertisers,
TikTokers
right?
don't make that much money.
They don't make, it's not.
Compared to Instagrammers.
Well, right, because the way TikTok works is they don't show necessarily all your, like you, a person with very, like when I was just getting started, I was getting more views than any big TikToker. Like I get 20 million views on a video and I had 100,000 people.
What? Damn.
In TikTok, because it doesn't work that way. It was just working that if they showed it to, I guess I'm famous, it was a little different. But even I saw with other people, you could get a lot of views with very few followers. Yeah. Well, in Instagram, it was more like you had to sort of, it was the opposite, right? It was like sort of a different approach because they would show it to a certain number of people. If they liked, they show it to more and more. It wasn't related to your followers so much as a random sampling. And I thought that was interesting because when I was doing it and I was using TikTok myself because I was looking for reaction videos, you would see this sort of potpourri of fresh faces that you never saw before. I wasn't getting the same people over and over again. Well, on Instagram, I felt like I am.
I think TikTok did that to really compete with Instagram because the algorithm was so favorable to you that so many people went to the platform because it was so easy to gain.
No doubt.
I don't know if it's the same way anymore.
I don't know. I noticed when I was on it, there was a time it was like so easy to build. It was like unbelievable. I was picking up 100,000 followers a day.
And you just posted your normal content, video content?
No.
From what'd you do different?
Reaction videos.
What do you mean?
Like I just would go on
like
TikTok.
Side by side?
No, just like, someone like do some stupid shit on Instagram, like 6 seconds long. I'd say, you moron, or yeah, that person's like,
I gotta check it out.
It's just really, some of them are really fucking funny. I mean, some great ones. Like there's some of them great. So what guy would say, what's the biggest waste of money? And I'd say a career in gender studies. All right, a diploma, and everyone
everybody commented,
right? And say, why is America the greatest country in the world? Oh, because you could make a big mistake, go to jail, and have Leo play you in a movie and got 30 million views, right? Some girls on there with a mother together saying, I keep my man happy. I let him play with my mom. He's like, did his mom 2-on-1s with the mom. I'm like, that's fucked up shit even for me. 30 million. It's like that was like, so that sort of stuff, right?
I got to check that out.
Very different than my Instagram. Okay. Although I did post on Instagram, it didn't do quite as well on Instagram.
So the funnier stuff.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. Then 2 things happened. That was number one, my other son, was doing them with me, and he left the business to pursue a career in music. So the fun of it was taken out because my son would come over every day and we do, and that was one part of it. And the second part was I just started noticing that I was almost forced, because it's funnier, to go to the negative.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where I'm saying
people love controversy.
Well, just because people would, when someone does stupid shit, it's funny to say that's stupid shit, right? Yeah. And I started noticing there were some great ones. There were some girls where she'd be like, she's playing some music and the music's saying, I just stuck a penis in my butt. I want to stick a penis in my butt. She's a very pretty girl. I want to know how it feels, right? And I'm like, well, it's girls like you that make the world a better place, right? And I got 30 million views on that one, right? And that was nice. That's funny, and she loved it, and they all loved it. But then it started getting a lot of them. People were just like, oh yeah, you're a fucking socialist. Go fuck yourself. Go back to fucking Venezuela. And I'm like, and there was a lot of that. I'm like, I don't. My life is really good. I don't need to bash anyone else to I didn't want to make people feel bad. So I said, fuck it. It's like, and also
Did you ever make money with your TikTok?
No, I never even tried to make money.
No one tried to hit you up for any deals?
Oh, yeah, of course. But I never took them. Oh. Yeah, I never took them. Yeah. No, I don't do that. That's not really the basis of my business. I have some brand deals, but then not like I wouldn't do it where I post shit. They're very different for me. Some stuff. But
so you can't sell yourself out for some little chump change deal?
No, I wouldn't. I would charge. They couldn't give me enough money on TikTok to move my needle. I would never do it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was a friend, I did it as a favor for free or something like that. Gotcha. But what was I saying? I was saying something that I was. I think what happened is that I started to look at the overall account. I'm like, it's not what I want my brand to represent. I'm not a comedian. I mean, I'm fucking funny. I know the movie was great. It was funny, right? Yeah. But it's not who I am. I'm a businessman.
And that's how I felt when I was doing my funny.
You get it? Right?
TikToks, dancing.
Right. I'm like, it's not who I am. I did the worst dances ever. That's the lowest.
I tried to learn how to dance. Yeah. It took me forever. It took me hours to make these damn TikToks during COVID. And is this what my brand to be?
No, and by the way, that was so I never did. I did a couple dances. Fuck that, right? That ain't happening, right? And but I just looked at the account. I said it's on the outer edges of my brand. Mm-hmm. So does this really help me or hurt me, or is it give off the image I want? Now, when I was out about town, I would have more people coming up to me than anything saying, "Oh my God, I love your TikToks." That was by far
over Instagram,
100 to 1. TikTok. It was that profound. Did you
ever post your TikToks on Instagram?
Mm. Yeah, people just loved my back TikToks.
And they probably did better.
I was getting massive views. I was getting the average TikTok was getting 8-10 million views.
Wow.
Everyone was getting. I had a run where everyone was 8 million, 10 million, 15 million. For a 6 months straight, it was just wild. They were all going viral, ultra viral, every single one. Then it got a little bit harder. They changed the algorithm. At the same time, I sort of backed off. But I guess to me, it was sort of. I always struggle. I was okay, with my own, okay, so am I a celebrity or am I a businessman? in the last year, I said, all right, fine, I'm a celebrity, fine, I'll fucking accept it. I'll do it, whatever, fine, great. You can make a lot of money. Like that I do make a lot. I have a lot of huge deals, but they're different. They're like celebrity businessman deals. So where it's more about me getting a big stake in a company that's either public or about to go public and using a combination of my brand. That's where I'll do endorsements. You get it? Very different sort of thing. So I can get I can get millions and millions and millions of dollars and 10 times that if it hits versus like saying, okay, I'm going to hold up a can of something or other to try that. You get it?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I have an iced tea company that's in the process of like going through the roof. Yeah, that can make billions of dollars. That's sort of like those are the deals I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So, but I guess back to this.
You get hit up by like NFT projects too, all the time, probably, right?
Do you know how many I could have made if I was a scumbag? I could have made like at least 10 million. Probably not, because you would have caught on people after a while. But I was being offered like massive sums of money, like every day. Like I had people saying, if you just change your photo on Twitter to our NFT, I'll give you $500,000 for one day. One day.
Just to change your photo?
$500,000.
They must have asked more than that.
No, like 500. No.
But what is that? You had at least tweet,
$500,000 to change my profile photo to
they were going to kind of use that.
They'd fucking take a snapshot and then put it everywhere. Gotcha. I said, no, I didn't do it.
Wow.
I didn't do it. I had many of those offers, many. I must have at least given up $10, $15 million on that. Listen, ask, why didn't I do an NFT?
Yeah. What do you ever think about doing one?
No.
Why?
Because I don't want people to lose money on my NFT.
But if you did it, no one will lose money.
I know, but I can't, just understand, for me.
You got people that know how to do it?
Yes, it's not, let me explain my philosophy, okay? Until the market is fully sussed out, okay, and it stabilizes. Like, I don't want to make money off someone else losing money and I took their money. And I think
you got the wrong connotation of like what possible for an NFT if you do it.
Let me finish my thoughts. So I didn't want to just do an NFT and like that was some artwork and put it out there.
You could have done an NFT for your mastermind.
Those different. I'm going to do an NFT for a game, a video game. So that's where I'm going to do it.
That's a really good subject.
That's what I'm into is video games. I'm a big believer in the whole Web3.
Are you a gamer?
No, but I'm a terrible gamer. But I own video game companies.
Used to play.
Oh, so I did play. I'm
not a gamer.
I'm fucking older than you.
I got to tell you about a game that I started playing.
Listen, I'm older than you. So I got exposed to video games before you were born. Seriously. No. My father brought home Coleco Pong, and I was like, my brother, I'm like, what the fuck?
Not even Atari?
Before Atari. 1975.
What was before Atari?
Coleco Pong. Boop, boop, the fucking breakout in Pong. My father brought him Coleco. It was the first video game before any of it, all right? 1974, 75, right? He brought it home. We were on a square little fucking Sony Trinitron TV. We were blown away, boop, boop. Like you couldn't believe it. The big arcade was in your house. It was most unlike. Then came Breakout. Then came a game called Intellivision, which was the first one that was having a little bit moving characters. They were so fucked up. It was right? And then something happened. I got into girls and in my junior year of high school, and I got into lifting weights and video games. Just bam, they passed me by, and I went to play again. I died in 1 second. I got killed. They had this new rules, and I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? I couldn't even play him anymore. It got so complicated. Get it? And then went through this evolution.
Mortal Kombat.
I missed all of it. I got into weightlifting, sports, and girls, and I didn't give a shit.
That's better.
And then I missed it though. But I missed it. And I came back, and it was so complicated. I couldn't play anymore. Then I watched my son, Bowen, is amazing. He was a top global player in Call of Duty.
Oh wow!
And I made him stop. I was like, because this is before video games really got monetized. It's what are you gonna do? You're never gonna get laid if you play this game. And I made him stop.
Real.
I am. But anyway, that's my. NFTs. I was I don't want to do something. I didn't want to do something where there was gonna just. And I got approached by a lot of that stuff. So I love NFTs in the sense that I believe there's a huge future for NFTs.
Yeah.
A huge future. I just think that the market is so nascent right now, and I think the way we're looking at NFTs right now. Or not the way that we're going to be looking at NFTs in 3 years from now.
Definitely not.
That's what I think. That's why I just haven't done it yet. So I want to do it right. That's why.
Yeah, because right now everybody's looking at NFTs as hype and art, when in reality, it's not really the art that you're buying. It's the utility behind it. So as long as you stack good utility, if you have anything membership related and you're charging a monthly fee for something, or you're charging for a conference or an event or a speaking gig, you could sell NFT tickets and have the NFT download. Like the 11 NFT that we bought, it's in my Apple Wallet right now. I can go to 11 right now, Apple Wallet, boom, here's my pass. Like that's
and you don't wait online anymore, right?
You know, I'm waiting in line. Whatever utility they want to give me, you know, when the 11 residents open up, whatever that utility you want to have, free access to the pool parties, or, you know, this drop. Or
Well, that makes, so that's a very different. That's why. So listen, these are very close. You know, Mark Roberts and Simpkins are they're very close friends of mine. Mark's an old friend of mine, right? So I bought when they said to me, you know, hey, buy one. I'm like, of course I'll buy one, right? Even with shit I would. But I like that. I said it's a great idea because there's an asset there that, and it's corresponding to a real value that you could actually wrap your head around. So it made sense to me. Like, so with what I didn't want to do it myself, and I felt like was happening was like, let me come up with some artificial utility that just sort of sounds really good. It didn't seem like authentic. It was like, it was not like, hey, I have this amazing utility, let me NFT it. It was more like, let me release some NFTs to make money, then find some utility so it all works.
That's what everybody's trying to do.
And that's what I didn't want to do. So I said, look, when the time is right, and I have so that makes sense. And then this idea of a video game for Wolf of Wall Street, a Wolf of Wall Street video game. I said, that's $1 billion idea. That's what I'll do my NFT. That's what I'm doing right now.
Gotcha. You know what Gary Vee did?
Yeah.
Like that's something that he's inspired me to do something very similar. The whole experience-based NFTs. You can get to go to lunch with him. You get to play bowling with him, go play basketball with him, go on a Zoom call with him, go to the once a year super conference. He just super packed his lineup with different experience, whether it's in person, whether it's an educational base, whether it's virtual. That is a project that's going to be around forever. That's real world utility.
How does it work though when it was 3 years worth of conferences?
Okay, that's a great question, because I'm doing something very similar. And whether I want to do a 1 year conference, I'm going to do a 3-day conference.
No, his is only lasts for 3 years.
3 days, but yes,
no, 3 years.
He did 3 years.
Each year, though, it loses a third of its value.
Yes. So the question is, what do you do after year 3? What is that NFT worth? That's going to be the problem he's going to have to solve. But what would you pay for VCon for a 3-day event? It's worth a few $1,000s. He launched his NFT at $3,000, and now it's worth 12 for a ticket for a 3-year event, 3-day event for VCon. So you have to. Yeah,
so
that's the main
that
utility.
to me, but that doesn't make sense though. That's exactly what I don't want. No offense to Gary, I like Gary. Gary's a very smart guy, but like to me, so it's okay. So you have something that has an actual value of a few $1,000s with some ridiculous artwork. Come on, and it's trading at $12,000. That's not going to end well for the person that owns it at 12. It can't.
Well, you got to think you're paying for the conference. Forget the artwork.
No, forget I'm saying the artwork's worthless, right? So let's say the artwork's worthless. Okay, so let's say you're paying for a conference that costs $1,000 a conference, and it's 3,000 3 years, and it's worth 12. How is that a value exchange?
Because people think it's worth $3,000 for the 3-day event.
But it's not though. You could buy a ticket.
No, you can't. You can't.
But you understand? But like the value of that conference before it's pumped up by NFTs, supply and demand issue.
It's pumped up a little bit because
speculation
of the hype. Because when 3 years comes, who knows what those holders will get? You're just gonna have to think of something new. Like now,
what happens if something happens to Gary?
He had his 3-year event.
But my point. Okay, I understand. I'm not saying it's a scam because it's not a scam. I'm not even saying that at all.
Yeah. What
I'm saying is I just don't understand. To me, the value exchange doesn't make sense to me. At least for myself, and I didn't want to have the pressure. Maybe he's a different sort of person. I didn't want to have to constantly worry about how am I going to fill people like that. I'm devaluing. So it's like a ticking time bomb that keeps ticking faster as it approaches the 3-year mark.
Exactly.
And like, do I really want people that pay $10,000?
No. Well, they're getting their money's worth because they feel they're going to pay a couple $1,000s per year per conference. As long as they get the value, they're okay if the NFTs were 0 at the end. Because I met all these beautiful people, networked, and I found all these business opportunities at these events. So who cares if it's worth 0 at the end? But it's not. It's going to be.
But this is the question of that. The only point I'll make the episode is that okay, but the value of that in the real world is not what the NFT is trading at. Gary's conferences without NFTs are worth probably 1/5 of that. Like if that type of conference, no, seriously, I know that nothing about Gary. Gary's brilliant. I'm not that
the intrinsic value of that conference is not the same as the NFT by a long shot.
Do you think people want to pay $2 to $3 grand a ticket to go to a 3-day event like that?
Not and sit in the bleachers. No. No.
Yeah. I guess that's the question. I mean, I think it's
well, was that the going rate before?
I think when he launched at $3 grand. Was that
the going rate before? My point is, you know the price of seminars.
Yeah.
Is that the going rate really of a seminar like that?
No, it's a little okay. It's inflated. It's inflated. He launched at $3 grand. That's probably what.
You know why it's inflated? Because he's smart. He's a fucking smart dude, Gary. And he's done nothing wrong. I'm not saying that at all. Yeah. I'm just saying it's human nature. He's very smart, all right? And he loves NFTs. So for Gary, I believe it made sense.
It is big. There's a lot of hype.
But he loves NFTs. Mm-hmm. He's carrying the torch, and he deserves, I believe, to make money for that because he's one of the thought leaders in the space of NFTs. Like he was an early adopter who was leading the charge and took a big risk with his brand to do it. He's entitled to make money. A lot of people backed into what Gary Vee did and made money, and I think that's a great thing. So I'm not against it at all. What I'm saying is that when I looked at myself as a later adopter, I said, okay, let me see what Gary Vee did. Should I do it? I didn't think it was congruent with me to do what Gary did. It seemed not authentic to me. That's my point.
I think also that what drives the price up is the demand. Like people bought these tickets knowing they're not going to go or care to go, the investors, knowing that they're going to sell them to people that want to go. And when you have that low demand, just like the stock market,
where's the NFTs now? And
they're on like OpenSea. Like,
and what do they trade at now in the declining market?
Last time I looked, maybe 10. I don't know. I haven't looked lately. Maybe they've gone down a little bit.
I don't know. I don't really track it. But I think my point is, and let me see. So Gary Vee is a legitimate businessman. He is. Mm-hmm. Smart guy. How many people are doing that are not legitimate?
Too many.
Right. I think that's the bigger issue. I was like,
okay,
that's Gary Vee. Gary's giving value. He's going to, my guess is I'll tell you what Gary's going to do. Unless he gets sick, he'll airdrop something after 3 years and make it all keep going. Because that's what he's not going to, he wants everyone to be happy, right? Yeah. So he's a good guy, right? But my point is for every Gary Vee, there's like 10,000 non-Gary V's who would just fucking say, oh, look what Gary Vee did. I'm going to fucking do the same thing and run away with the money.
Yeah, well, I think I have a pretty good shot at doing something similar on a lower scale.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're an honest guy, though. So my point is there's nothing wrong with the philosophy. The question is like, as you're saying, what's the utility? Yeah. And I guess, is it really authentic? So you look at like 11 and you say, okay, that makes sense, authentic. Some of the stuff you see out there is kind of brutally inauthentic, right?
Well, that's why we're in a bear market right now.
Exactly, right?
All the people that lost money on all these NFT projects. That's exactly what we're going through right now. Because,
like Pet.com of 2000, basically. It's like Pets.com, right?
Like everybody.
Toys, e-toys.
It blew up October, November, December, the hype of the NFT world. And after that, it just downhill. So many people lost money. And it's all about market sentiment. And all these people lost money. They don't believe in the crypto anymore. So that is exactly why we're going through a bear market right now.
So you have a great insight in this because you had an advertising agency, right? So what are people saying right now? What's like the mood out there in crypto?
The advertisers that were paying us a lot of money, like the agencies that ran these NFT projects, are all on hold. We're kind of waiting until the market picks up before we start advertising again. That's what everybody's telling us.
Give me an example. Like what agent? Agencies.
Like there's an agency in Dubai that pays its hundreds of thousands of dollars that represents multiple NFT projects. They're an advertising agency for NFT projects. People go to them to help advertise. They come to us. They advertise with us, and a lot of people are just on hold.
And what do they say? Like what you say the root cause is a lot of bad projects, right? Do you think there's any other causes of it?
I don't think so. I mean, I took on some bad projects. Like I sometimes didn't do enough due diligence, and I promoted bad, shitty rug pull projects. Like there's a difference between a rug pull and a business that just fails.
Big difference.
So like all these NFT projects, you have the business plan. You can't just sell NFTs without a business plan, and most businesses fail. Whether it's a restaurant business or real estate broker's license, 90% of businesses will fail. Just like 90% of the NFT projects would fail, then 90% of the value of NFTs have gone down 90-some%. So it's these businessmen that are coming from the business world that have like, I have people that sell memberships to a real estate mastermind or a membership to a YouTube mastermind. And all of a sudden they want to make an NFT out of their membership. Yes, you could do that because you already have a business, but there's just so many people that want to just make an NFT and then create a business. And those are the ones that are failing. People that already have a business, you could easily go into NFTs.
Do you handle crypto as well, not just NFTs, right? You're doing for crypto?
Yeah, I've been in crypto all my life.
So what's your thoughts on the current bear market? What do you think is driving it? You think it's just bad projects and is that the main thing?
I think so.
You don't think at all it's related to macro forces like in the mainstream financial world? Like, no, meaning like
the stock market?
Well, just generally like, the Fed tightening, quantitative tightening, interest rates going up, hot money going out of crypto into safer investments.
I think it's just the market sentiment of a lot of bad projects that put the market down, and then the big investors get scared, and that's when they start pulling out.
So do you think so? So like, I guess so. Why would the counter to that would be why would investors pull out of Bitcoin because of all the scams into NFTs? Like Bitcoin's down 70% since last year. Why would Bitcoin be down because of the scams?
Market sentiment is low. Fear.
So you think that people think that because there's a lot of fucking lightning behind you. Oh my God, it's a craziness of that back there. Wow. I wish your viewers could see this. It's like fucking a lightning still behind his head. Anyway, but my point is like, why would people, generally speaking, like sophisticated, like what's happening right now is that Bitcoin has gone through a transition where it's no longer just long-term hodlers. You have sophisticated investors represent a significant portion of the daily trading in Bitcoin, the hot money, right? So that money, right, is very much sensitive based on interest rates, on risk profile. So there's what's called right now a risk-off mentality among professional investors, a flight to quality, right? And Bitcoin trades more like a risky growth stock. So a lot of that hot hedge fund money has been coming out of Bitcoin and going into, perceived safer assets. So my point is, I don't know if that the fact that there's a lot of scams and like maybe something that rises to the level of a UST.
What happened in 2017? All the ICOs.
But that was a different time. In 2017, you had almost no institutional sponsorship at all. There was no sophisticated money in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you didn't have the same sort of thing happening right now. What you have right now, I believe, I think it's proven out by the data, is that a big portion of the downturn in big crypto, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, obviously, and Solana, some of the big ones, and also I think exacerbated by USD, which shook a lot of the institutions. Terra, USD Terra shook a lot of institutions. That I believe had an impact. But even before that, I think it was a 1-2 punch. So
that was the knockout punch.
That was the knockout punch. But I think it started with the Fed suddenly like not printing money anymore, taking money out of the system.
Do you think inflation and the printing money has
the result? Well, because
that helps crypto though.
No, it doesn't, because it hurts crypto now because crypto doesn't trade the way crypto's supposed to trade. Well, the idea that crypto is digital gold is not panning out right now. I think it will, okay, but it's not right now.
It's not really a store of value either right now.
Not right now, but I believe it will be. I think Bitcoin will be a store of value, okay? It's not right now. Why? Because it's still early in the game, and the institutional sponsorship that's there right now is not the sort of long-term institutional sponsorship like Michael Saylor at Microsoft. That's a long-term sponsor that believes in it, right? A guy from as small or corrupt as might be over in Salvador, whoever his name, Kelly, right? He's a long-term player that is trying to build it as a store of value because he believes it's worth over the long term. Those are very different than hedge funds buying Bitcoin for a return on their portfolio so they can then take their 20% big this year. They're just going to put that money in the next, if whatever thing's going to make the biggest return in the next 30 days, they go in there, right? That is the money that was coming out of Bitcoin over the last 6 to 7
Few
months
months,
as
yeah.
it made its way down. I think you're right. Then the UST, right? That was like the knockout punch.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, whoa, wait. I mean, you know, the unstable stable coin, right? But ironically, like if you look at that, it was like a joke. Like everyone knew, like, I mean, there was no stable coin. It was
Did you
like,
have any money in that?
no,
Me
zero.
either. None.
People tried to get me into it. I didn't even go into it. I think it's phenomenal for the guys that got into it when they was private.
I just bought the dip.
Well, I mean, like, no, like when it was getting started and the guys that pumped, all pumped up. It was like a Goldman Sachs pump and dump without Goldman Sachs, run by AZ6. All the guys who was behind it, Pantera, these guys just pumped the shit out of the fucking thing and then got out at the top and left the average investor holding the bag again. It's like the fucking same old story.
Like I think Anchor was like the big DeFi in there. When that was just
joke.
It was a joke. Yeah, it was a Ponzi.
Pure Ponzi scheme. Pure Ponzi scheme, right? But like it's like it was a pure Ponzi along the lines of Bernie Madoff in the sense that he didn't offer so much money. Like 20% was like maybe it's possible. Like maybe because it's for like people love to believe in Santa Claus.
Crypto's like the Bernie Madoffs of
right
these days.
So you're a big believer. I see. So it sounds to me that you really believe that at least taking the big investors like the professional investors. You think people are onto it at this point? The average investor saying this is bullshit. There's massive fraud in the market. Until Wyatt Earp comes to town and cleans the shit up, it's not safe to invest. Is that what you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the thing is with crypto, like you come from the days of the penny stocks, the OTC.
Crypto is that reinvented. And when someone makes a cryptocurrency coin, they raise money for their business. And that business needs to start producing revenue. 99% of these businesses never produce revenue with the money that they take in. That's what crypto should be for. So what is the business model for your cryptocurrency coin? Are you going to make money with these investors' money? Are you going to have a return? Like, who cares if you hype the coin up and the chart goes up? That's not a business.
Of course, right.
That's a Ponzi.
Right.
So that's what people really don't get is these business people trying to create these coins and all they want to do is hype it up and just get more investors to pay back old investors. And when regulation finally comes in, somehow it has to get regulated. So,
listen, here's the thing. So obviously, like that's not really a Ponzi. I'll tell you why it's not a Ponzi. A Ponzi is when you think there's a real business there. And you're being paid off by new investors.
Yeah.
I think in every crypto, everyone knows there's no business there. Like it's actually, it's like no, you're buying into a Ponzi. Like so it's
I
not
mean,
actually,
the biggest play to earn games right now are all Ponzis.
Right. So it's not a Ponzi though, because everyone knows it's a Ponzi. Like you know what I'm saying? The difference in a Ponzi is that in a Ponzi scheme, you think there's an actual business there, and it turns out there never was.
In reality,
everyone knows there's no business there, so everyone's in on.
Well, no. People think these play to earn games are real businesses.
I guess that's a Ponzi. Okay, so that's the distinction. When people think there's a real business, that's when it becomes a Ponzi.
So I was talking with what's his name downstairs, Bowen, and we were talking about the big box games. Like you're investing in some sort of play to earn games. What's wrong?
Not play to earn. No, we can't do play. It's not play to earn because it doesn't work.
Well, that's what's wrong. Okay, so what's wrong? Play to earn. What's wrong? Let's talk about what's wrong with the play to earn games.
They can't work because it depresses the inflation and they can't work. I get it.
What would make them work?
Well, if there was utility for the coin, and if there was something with I'll tell you what make a play to earn game work. When we made it play, if the coin itself, they didn't want to sell the coin. If they wanted to hold the coin because the coin had value to be spent somewhere else. If the coin actually had value outside the game, it would work.
I think what would make any play to earn crypto game work is when you normally buy a game. You buy a game because you want to play it for fun.
Right. So it's got to be a great game.
Nobody's buying crypto games, right? It doesn't cost any money to buy a game in crypto. That's the problem.
Well, okay. So
that's where the business revenue comes from.
So there's two sides to it, right? So there's a happy medium here because there's a huge opportunity, I believe, in gaming and NFTs right now because it's an unfair the games that you have right now. They're so heavily weighted towards the game manufacturer. The people that play the games, they cannot build value. They can't trade their things, the skins, the money they put in. So I think there's a huge play here for integrating NFTs and that into the traditional game world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your point, again, is something very important, that they suck.
Yeah.
Like they're not fun to play. They're bullshit.
They need to be played.
And all they are is, in that sense,
Yeah.
is for the money you can make, and that's not sustainable because people would never play the game just for the sake of playing the game.
Yeah.
So I'm actually invested in a company that's actually building a game that's like a World of Warcraft where people will actually want to play the game. That's the only way.
It's going to be from play to earn to play and earn.
Right.
And if a game can build, if you can build a badass game that people play, and then you want to sell skins, you want to sell NFT land,
right?
guns.
Like my game is a Wolf of Wall Street game. It's gonna be racing cars through Manhattan on loots, like
on loot.
Yeah, like the
racing cars through Manhattan.
You have different cars. You can knock over FBI just in fucking all this shit.
So you can like
the screen's wobbling and shit. Like I know the loots you take. You get it, and you can take it like buy a little coke.
So you got to go like buy drugs, and you can go sue people
like
and drive
stuff.
Grand Theft
Auto. That's fun as shit, right?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Like that's fun. So that's the idea. And then like all the stuff that you can trade inside is because people fucking play it because they love the game. Like that to me, it makes sense.
This game never worked.
The Axie Infinity shit was crazy.
That's bullshit. That's all Ponzi-nomics.
It was crazy, right?
So there's a game that I play. It's you ever have an Oculus Quest?
You of course have one, right? Yeah.
Okay, you got to download Population 1.
Population 1.
Yeah.
What is it?
So it's like Call of Duty. It's a shooting game, but you're there, and you feel like you fear for your life. You get your blood pumping, your heart race. You're running around. You're climbing on things. You're throwing.
Do you need anything
grenades.
besides the two things in the headset?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah?
And you pick up guns. It's like a people all compete against each other. You can actually fly. You climb buildings. You pick up all these guns. You can snipe people. You can get up AK-47. You can get a couple of handguns. It is so much fun. My wife hates the game. I'm addicted to this game.
So when you're holding the controllers, you think you see guns on inside?
Yeah, you pick up a gun, cock the AK-47. You aim through the sights. It's got recoil, so you got to learn the recoil. And you're shooting people. And
I'll try to have
it's so much fun.
Population 1.
Yeah, Population 1. You're the guys.
Okay, so let me ask you this: so if you've been around the crypto market for how long?
A couple years before the 2017 crash.
Okay, so 2015.
Few years, yeah.
My
first crypto purchase
was
to buy something off the Silk Road.
Like most people. What'd you buy?
Coke.
And
ecstasy.
Was it good?
Oh, really good.
Really? And what Bitcoin you paid for it?
Yeah, I had to buy Bitcoin.
What was Bitcoin back then? What was the price of it?
$300, I think.
Did you make a lot of money on your Bitcoin that you didn't
No, because I lost it on a computer.
Oh,
how
much?
I bought 4 or 5 Bitcoin. That wasn't much.
Oh.
Well, now it is. It's a lot of money now.
So, when do you think the crypto winter will end?
I think it's going to be sooner than later. I think each bear market is going to get shorter and shorter. And I think Bitcoin will soon be less volatile and will level off and consolidate. Because I think it might happen in a couple years, 5 years, 10 years, but you're going to get to a point where Bitcoin's maybe 100, 200. I don't think it's going to go to millions, like people say. Like
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's going to consolidate. It will end up store value. It will be the coin that all coins are based off of. You got Bitcoin and Ethereum. People build apps on Ethereum. Bitcoin's the store of value, and you got everything else. That's people are trying to build their businesses.
What would your advice be to people right now that are in the market? Would you say, is it a good time to buy right now?
Yeah.
What would you be buying?
Right now.
What would you be buying right now?
Bitcoin, Ethereum. I got some XRP. I got some Solana. The metaverse, like the sandboxes. What are the other ones? The metaverse plays where you're buying NFTs at Sandbox. What else is there?
What's it called? Fuck, you're killing me now.
What's
the other one? Sandbox.
What's the Roblox one?
The other one.
What's the Roblox? Mana.
What's the other one? There's no Sandbox and
Mana.
two.
Sandbox.
There's two big ones.
Two big ones. Decentraland. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Yeah, for real.
So those the market crashed.
I think those were the first ones, but I don't think those are going to last. I think there's going to be higher end, higher quality. Like, who's going to make a game where you're walking around with blocks in a Roblox and it's all pixelated? Like, that's not cool. We want real life metaverses.
Yeah, so far, just so you know, I have not seen one thing that impresses me yet. I think it's coming soon.
Yeah.
I think Facebook is going to release something staggering. By the way,
Well, I got hit up by a company that says they own the patents I'm not going to mention it. We're going to talk off screen, but they says they own the patents for any company that hosts in the metaverse 100 or more people. And they've had them for 17 years. So it's interesting because they sued Travis Scott and they're in settlements. You know, the big people that have big concerts in the metaverse. So that might be something I'll talk to you about off camera. That might be interesting.
All right. So listen, buddy, thank you for coming on. Very interesting discussion, as always. And look forward to having you again. Listen, everyone, share this with your friends. Make sure you like this, subscribe, everything like that. And we'll talk. Well, how did I reach you? A Millionaire Mentor, is it?
I'm on Millionaire _ Mentor on Instagram. Jason_Stone is my personal. We got millmentor.com as a blog, but that's not really how you reach me. Send me a DM. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jordan, for having me.
Take care.
This guy's had one of the best movies in the world. I love the movie. Super inspiring. You're one of my online virtual mentors.
Thank you.
And maybe we can do some more business in the future.